The relationship between stress and mental illness. In today's fast-paced society, stress is often considered an inescapable part of life. While a certain degree of stress can motivate individuals to perform optimally, chronic stress can have devastating impacts on both physical and mental health. The relationship between stress and mental illness has been extensively studied in the realm of psychopathology, revealing a complex interplay of psychological, biological, and environmental factors. This video will explore the intricate relationship between stress and mental illness, encompassing various perspectives and theoretical frameworks. Stress and its impact on mental health. Stress is a natural response to external stimuli or demands, often characterized by physiological changes such as increased heart rate, sweating, and heightened alertness. However, when stress becomes chronic, it can lead to a range of mental health issues, including anxiety disorders, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and even schizophrenia. Chronic stress can result from a myriad of life circumstances, including financial difficulties, relational discord, workplace pressures, health concerns, and traumatic events. These persistent pressures can overactivate the body's stress response system, which, in turn, can disrupt various physiological processes that influence mental health. Biological perspectives on stress and mental illness. From a biological perspective, stress impacts mental health primarily through its effect on the brain's stress response systems, including the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis and the sympathetic nervous system. Chronic activation of these systems can lead to a variety of neurobiological changes that heighten vulnerability to mental illness. One of the significant ways stress can affect the brain is by disrupting the production and regulation of certain neurotransmitters, such as serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. These neurochemicals play a critical role in mood regulation, arousal, and motivation. Chronic stress can lead to alterations in these neurotransmitters levels, contributing to the development of mood disorders like depression and anxiety. The impact of stress on the brain doesn't stop there, it can also lead to structural changes. Research has shown that prolonged exposure to stress can cause shrinkage in areas of the brain associated with memory, emotion regulation, and executive function, such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. These changes can increase susceptibility to various mental health disorders, including PTSD and other anxiety disorders. Psychological perspectives on stress and mental illness. Psychological theories of stress and mental illness emphasize the role of cognitive processes in the development of psychopathology. From this perspective, it is not stress per se, but individuals' interpretation and perception of stress, that contribute to mental illness. Cognitive models, like Beck's cognitive theory of depression, posit that chronic stress can lead to the formation of negative cognitive schemas. These schemas, which are essentially mental frameworks for interpreting the world, can predispose individuals to view themselves, the world, and the future in a negative light, leading to the development of depressive symptoms. In addition to cognitive theories, the diathesis stress model provides another psychological framework to understand the relationship between stress and mental illness. This model posits that mental illness results from the interaction of individual vulnerability, diathesis, and environmental stressors. Here, vulnerability can take many forms, such as genetic predisposition, early life experiences, or existing mental health conditions. The role of environmental factors. Environmental factors play a pivotal role in moderating the relationship between stress and mental illness. Individuals exposed to chronic stress in detrimental environments, such as those characterized by poverty, violence, or neglect, have a higher risk of developing mental illness. Additionally, stress in the form of traumatic experiences can lead to the onset of mental health conditions like PTSD, where the brain's ability to appropriately respond to stressors is impaired. For instance, exposure to child abuse, violent conflicts, or natural disasters can be significant stressors that predispose individuals to mental health conditions later in life. The relationship between stress and mental illness is also influenced by protective environmental factors such as social support. Robust social networks can provide emotional support, practical assistance, and a sense of belonging, which can buffer the effects of stress and reduce the likelihood of mental illness. Implications for treatment and intervention. Understanding the relationship between stress and mental illness is crucial for devising effective prevention and treatment strategies. Addressing the root causes of stress and developing strategies to manage it are key components of interventions for stress-related mental health disorders. From a biological perspective, Pharmacotherapy, such as antidepressants and anxiolytics, can help to rectify the biochemical imbalances resulting from chronic stress. Additionally, neurofeedback and other neurostimulation techniques are emerging as potential treatments that can reverse the brain changes associated with prolonged stress exposure. Psychological treatments, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, aim to change maladaptive thought patterns and stress responses. They teach individuals how to challenge negative cognitive schemas, enhance problem-solving skills, and cultivate mindfulness to manage stress effectively. Finally, at a societal level, policies and interventions should aim to alleviate environmental stressors that contribute to mental illness. This might include initiatives to reduce poverty and violence, improve access to mental health care, and promote supportive environments in schools, workplaces, and communities. Conclusion. In conclusion, the relationship between stress and mental health is complex and multifaceted, involving an intricate interplay of biological, psychological, and environmental factors. Chronic stress can lead to substantial changes in brain functioning and structure, alter cognitive processes, and, in combination with environmental stressors, pave the way for the onset of various mental health disorders. Understanding these pathways is essential to developing effective prevention and intervention strategies to mitigate the burden of stress-related mental health disorders in our society. While stress is a part of life, its transformation into chronic mental illness should not be accepted as inevitable. With comprehensive, multidisciplinary approaches, we can support individuals in managing stress and preventing the development of mental illness.